Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this July 1st, 2025 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Tiffany Oliphant, our Communications Manager, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Tiffany.
Thank you, Chair Fuller. There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you are joining us in person or virtually. If you are here in person and would like to make public comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you are joining us virtually, we will ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda.
Thank you. I now call this July 1st, 2025 regular meeting to order and ask Tiffany to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller,
Present.
Vice Chair Rod Green,
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Present.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Present.
The following directors are in attendance: Managing Director Matt Washtenaw, Director of Engineering County Highway Engineer Brent Schlack, Director of Operations Adam Lape, Director of Finance Dan Ackerman.
Please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Additions, deletions, corrections, anything? If not, Tiffany, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the agenda is approved as presented. We have two sets of minutes to accept today. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of June 17th, 2025, appearing on pages 3 through 17 of the packet?
So moved. Support.
Additions, deletions, corrections? Seeing none, Tiffany, if you would, please.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the regular meeting minutes of June 17th are accepted as presented. May I have a motion to accept the working session minutes of June 17th, 2025, appearing on pages 18 through 21 of the packet?
So move.
Second.
Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Tiffany, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the working session minutes of June 17th, 2025 are accepted as presented. Next, we have an opportunity to hear from our County Commission liaison, County Commissioner Caroline Sanders. I don't see her.
Neither do I, Commissioner, Chair Fuller.
We'll move on to public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board, and Tiffany will explain how people may be recognized to offer comments.
Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. If you would like to participate virtually in our public comment period, now is the time to raise your hand. I do not see anyone virtually who would like to make public comment.
Thank you. And we have no one signed in person, correct?
No, ma'am.
All right. We will move on to written communications appearing on pages 22 through 24 of the packet. Commissioners, anything you wish to draw our attention to?
I think there's some,
Commissioner Yamas?
I'm sorry, written comments, written
Page number?
communication. I'm gonna have to say, well, maybe this is not the time. It's about emails, not what's in
Is
the
it
written.
in staff reports?
No,
No.
not yet. I do not see it here.
Want me to move on?
Yes.
Okay, anybody else? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business, the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 7 as presented? The motions appear on pages 25 through 28 with the background on pages 29 through 34.
So moved.
Support.
Anything you have questions about, commissioners? Seeing none. Tiffany, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Almus,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the consent agenda is approved as presented. We have no action items today, so we will move on to the reports of the road commissioners, starting with Commissioner Green.
I have no report, thank you.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, Madam Chair, on June 25th, I attended the Washtenaw County Parks and Rec Committee East Side Community Center meeting. And on June 30th, I attended Commissioner Hodges Town Hall it was located at Nancy Park in Ypsi Township, but it was in the trailer that they have. And it was very nice, air conditioned. So it was a very nice town hall. Some of the ideas we discussed were having a career day for county jobs, and perhaps the road commission could be presented there, held at Washtenaw Community College. So that idea is ongoing. And it was a nice discussion. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Yamas.
I attended the Touch a Truck in Chelsea on 6:30. That was, no, it was Sunday. Whatever day.
Saturday, I mean.
Saturday, July 5th. No, June. I'm in July, wrong calendar. Yeah, Saturday, June 28th. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Smurfs.
On Wednesday, June 25th, I was the commissioner on chat. We had 7 attendees, several different topics. Matt did a great job. It turned into a pretty good educational session for myself as well. That's the end of my report.
You
Thank
still hold the record for.
Just saying, people like me.
The
I think
magnet guy.
They see your name.
I will report that on June 20th, I attended the Touch a Truck event at Revel Run in Lima Township. I'd like to extend appreciation to heavy truck driver Joey Naziak and communications staff Shelby Rushwiak and Tiffany Oliphant. Also on June 20th, it was a Friday. I responded to Greg and Jeanette Bentham regarding the fatality at the Tuttle Hill Merritt Road intersection in Ypsilanti Township. I do not typically respond in instances like this, but because the office was closed, I felt there was urgency to acknowledge their concern. On June 21st, I attended the Dexter Forum. On June 25th, I attended the County Road Association's 4th Annual Legislative Day in Lansing. I visited the offices of all 9 Washtenaw County state legislators, introduced myself to their staff, and hand-delivered a packet that contained one of our county maps, the 2-sided infographic about road funding, which they were grateful to receive during these budget discussions, and a map of our 2025 road and bridge improvement projects, left my business card, and in return, I collected all of their business cards and shared them with the managing director and our comms manager. On June 28th, it was a very busy day for the Road Commission. We had 3 events going on. In the morning, I attended the Touch a Truck event at the Saline Food Truck Festival, accompanied by Adam Late, Director of Operations, snowplow driver Mo Heller, Great All driver Tyle Summers, and communications specialist Shelby Rushwiak. Then the same day, Commissioner Yamas represented us at the Chelsea Fairgrounds Rotary Touch a Truck event, accompanied by Brian Trinkley, District 3 group leader. And then in conclusion, well, I guess during the Touch a Truck that we were at, Carl Redder drove a vehicle in the Augusta Township Parade, which came up on short notice. We were all over the place. Talked to a lot of people and got thoroughly baked in that hot sunny day. And that concludes my report. We'll move on to staff reports and road commission updates. Staff reports appear on pages 35 through 47, and I will turn things over to Matt.
Thank you, Chair Fuller. I'll just start by asking if anybody had questions on the reports. Finance, HR, IT, and I'm sure Dan will cover the MTF receipts later.
Do you want us to hold our questions for when, like when Dan comes up to talk about finance?
Yeah, finance is fine. We want to hold those for Dan.
I do have, anybody have any questions? Sorry, I kind of barged right. The HR report. Garrett Ward completing the CDLA training on page 39. Is that our second person that's completed the Earn While You Learn project we have?
Third, I believe, is he the third person, Garrett, that went through CDL?
We had Micah was our first one, right?
Oh, thank you.
Garrett is? Okay,
So you got the classroom done.
Correct, yeah, Adam Lay, Director of Operations. So yeah, Garrett's still in the process finishing testing.
okay,
That, so likely by tomorrow afternoon he's gonna test tomorrow, so
okay.
likely by tomorrow afternoon, he'll be instated, but we've had upgraded 2 employees from a B license to an A license. I think this will be the third, I believe, if not 4th staff member, when Garrett achieves that tomorrow.
That's great.
So doing pretty good.
And this is the Earn While You Learn project? They get to go to class, we pay them
Correct.
as though they were working.
Got 4,
Cole's yelling in 4.
Did she?
popped in.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
help my
somebody-
math,
Yeah.
Nicole. More
I
help.
was
Help my
directing
math,
you.
expert. Yeah,
See anybody?
yeah, I'm trying to add my math right, but yes, so.
Thank you,
we are-
Nicole.
with Garrett, so. Yeah, but pretty good opportunity for everybody to continue their career and build some staff from within.
That's great. I'm glad to see people taking advantage of that. It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
Thank you.
Mr. Yamas,
I'm sorry, I have a question for HR. So,
Nicole, why don't we, hey, Nicole,
Come in. Okay,
but she's here.
he is here.
she's online.
I don't see.
Here
it.
she goes.
She- Door number 1, Nicole.
Go and I'll have a question.
What?
What? I'm sorry.
Identify yourself.
Nicole Peterson, HR Manager.
So your applicant demographics that you have, are these people that have that number is like, seems like a high number? Is that people that from the last meeting to now have applied, or is it a cumulative that have applied here?
I actually don't know that answer. I would have to check with Alicia. She ran that report.
What page are you looking at?
I'm looking
Gloria?
at page 41.
41.
Oh, got it. The pie charts. Okay.
Yeah, the applicant demographics. So,
I can get back to you on that.
okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And the person you were missing was Bruce Saltz. He's a mechanic, a heavy duty mechanic, and he had to get his CDL as a requirement of his position.
Ah, okay.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Yeah, we can put the, next time we do the HR update, we'll put the time date range for the chart. That'll help out
Okay.
too, but we'll get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Nice to have you joining us. All right.
Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. I was going to report that, you should have all received notice by now, but I want to publicly recognize, Coy Vaughn, the Director of Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation Commission, is retiring, and what a wonderful partner he's been over the years. Barb and I signed a letter thanking and congratulating Coy on his retirement, and just wanted to publicly recognize that. It will be in the next board packet. We'll provide the letter to you under communications, but it has been sent to County Parks. Also, just to note, for the month of July, I'm going to be out of the office July 9th and 11th, and I'll send this out to you as well after the board meeting, and then the week of July 21st to the 25th. But we have adequate coverage for any number of the directors if things come up. So it's a busy month in July with a lot going on. So the work must continue. And we've got a great staff that will be there in my absence. With that, I'm going to go ahead and invite Brent Schlack up. for the engineering report.
Good afternoon, Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. So I have a pretty lengthy report, so we'll start with it, and we'll invite Aaron up here soon to talk about the Maple Foster Bridge. But I first wanted to update about, we received we had applied for a road safety audit for Carpenter Road between, and there's the limits are, it's actually for Carpenter Road and Packard Road, but it's Carpenter Road between Ellsworth and Washtenaw or M17, and Packard Road from US 23 or the city limits of Ann Arbor to Gulfside Road. And so we applied for this grant through SEMCOG. And the reason we applied for earlier this year, we had 2 pedestrian deaths along Carpenter Road in Pittsfield Township, one near the Packard intersection and one just south of there near the Aldi Home Depot entrance. So afterwards, we had several meetings, and then we applied for this road safety audit through SEMCOG, and SEMCOG will be the lead agency on the road safety audit. So what is a road safety audit? So it consists of a formal safety performance evaluation by an independent team. So that team can consist of engineers, public safety personnel, roadway technicians, maintenance personnel, and they evaluate and they'll develop a report and estimate, and they go through a matrix on different types of improvements that can happen along this corridor to improve the safety of that corridor. So that'll be happening this summer or sometime this summer or fall time. So we haven't gotten the actual schedule out yet, but when we do, we can update the board on that. So that's for that Carpenter Road Safety Audit.
Brent, I have a question about that.
Yeah.
At some point, all these safety improvements become a real challenge for drivers with the delineators and the lines on the road and the rapid flashing beacons and the light's green, but the beacons are going. And do they take that into account when they do the audit as well? Is there a tipping point at which all of this becomes noise and clutter and they have to simplify it?
Yeah, I mean, they do. They take a lot of that consideration of the subconscious of the driver and what they're, is there too much clutter, sign clutter, or too much information? They're feeling anxiety when they're behind the wheel. And so, yeah, they'll consider all that. And that's why there's that independent team of the mix of different individuals that can come from their perspective on this audit. So yeah, I would say the audit will take that into consideration, and they'll look at that, what those improvements will be, or possibly some of that improvement may be to remove some of that clutter. So that report will encompass a lot of those
Good.
features that you're describing.
Thank you.
And just,
Commissioner Green.
Do you know the amount of the grant?
I don't have the exact amount of the grant. I can report back on what that grant amount is. I believe a portion is covered through SEMCOG, and then we'll have to pay some type of match funding. But yeah, I can get the exact dollar amount for that. We have not gotten the agreement yet from SEMCOG. But when we do, I can report back.
as far as magnitude goes, it's probably less than 100,000.
Oh, it is, yes. Yeah, it'll be less than $100,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Also, just for, when you say public safety, I'm assuming that's law enforcement.
Yeah, so that could be EMS or law enforcement.
Okay,
Somebody within that public safety realm.
okay, thank you.
And AAATA is in there too somewhere?
Yeah, so so I know I was part of a team that could get called on, and so you have to go get trained, and so there could be individuals that are part of that transit world, or that could be part of the road safety audit. So SEMCOG will be that lead, and they'll work with a consultant that'll kind of develop that team. So yeah, we want to have a diverse team that that is coming from their perspective on roadway safety.
Good. Okay, thanks.
Yep. So as far as Maple Foster Bridge, so I'll have Aaron come on up here. and he'll kind of go into details on where we're at with the plan and what this, how we're handling the situation. But before we move forward, I just wanted to give some context, and I don't want this to at all appear that we are not moving forward expeditiously as we can. We're not hesitating on a plan. We want to reopen this with potentially a lower weight restriction. But our main concern is for the traveling public and the safety of the traveling public and the risk that we're having to go through to evaluate on if there is a complete failure. So that's our main concern. So just to give you some context with the area, so we have a bridge that's almost 150 years old. So the plaque on the bridge reads 1876. So we think it's built in that time frame. So that would be exactly 149 years old. So almost 150 years old. There's approximately 1,500 to 2,000 residents that live north of that bridge within that area. It has a traffic volume right now of about 1,600 vehicles per day that go over that bridge. And just to give you some examples of infrastructure that would be 100 or 150 years old that are no longer in use, that would be like wooden water mains. So wooden water mains are no longer being utilized and they're obsolete due to contamination or susceptible rot or pressure failure. And now we have more modern materials such as cast iron or PVC. And that's just one example. I mean, there's several examples out there. And again, this is not that we're advocating for any type of permanent closure. We're just trying to put this into context that a bridge of this age was not designed to handle the type of traffic, type of vehicles, or the volume of vehicles that we have today. And our main concern, again, is for the safety of the traveling public that are going over this bridge. So we have to take that into consideration. And I know it's frustrating for a lot of the individuals that live in this area that have to use the detour, but we would much rather them use that detour than have some catastrophic failure. So now Aaron will kind of come up and provide more details on where we're at with the plan and how we're moving forward.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Aaron Burkholz, Assistant Director of Engineering here at the Road Commission. Good afternoon. So I've got a few comments here. I wrote down my thoughts because this has been on my mind since 23 days ago when we closed the bridge. And in particular for me, having worked on the rehabilitation back in 2003, I'm intimately familiar with this bridge. Certainly, it was unfortunate to have the unexpected failure of the cable post tensioning system that we identified back on June 9th. But since that time, engineering staff have been in contact with the 2003 contractor. Their name is Anlon Corporation. Again, they still are a bridge builder here in Michigan. They work throughout the state on bridges. And we've also been in contact with 2 bridge engineering consultants. As you might imagine, I've responded to many emails and phone calls. As Brent mentioned, it certainly is understandably frustrating for those north of the bridge to have to follow a detour along local unpaved roads. It speaks to the importance of this river crossing and how important this bridge is to the community. I also have worked with Road Commission communication staff with Tiffany, and we've provided an update to the public via our website. In our communications to the public, again, many emails that I've provided, I provide a link to individuals that have reached out to me to direct them to the website. Again, we will provide another update when it's appropriate to do so. The 2 bridge engineering consultants that we've been in discussions with include Great Lakes Engineering. Great Lakes has worked with the Washtenaw County Road Commission for many years, and they work throughout the state with other county road agencies, with MDOT, on bridge inspection, design, and construction. This bridge on Maple Road, commonly referred to as the Foster Bridge, is a very unique structure. Brent mentions this bridge is somewhere in the realm of 150 years old, We say it's in the realm of because no one knows exactly when this bridge was constructed. The only evidence we have to go by is there is a patent date on the truss that says 1893, but we don't really know that that was, I'm sorry, 1883, but we don't know that that was the year the bridge was built. Regardless, it's a very old truss bridge. And in 2003, working with an engineering consultant that's no longer around, the Road Commission undertook a rehabilitation with the support of the community, including Barton Hills Village, to extend the life of this bridge and to continue to use this very old truss bridge as a means of crossing the Huron River or Barton Pond, depending on what you want to call it. And so with it being such a unique bridge and it having such a unique structural system, Great Lakes has engaged a company called Majeski and Masters. So Majeski and Masters was established in 1893. They are a nationally recognized firm with experience specific to truss bridges and unique design features that are used to rehabilitate truss bridges. Again, these are the type of individuals that we have to engage on a structure like this. If this bridge was a more modern bridge, it's a more straightforward answer. When the question is asked, how do we fix that bridge? If it's a bridge that's been built in the last 40, 50 years, the answer is usually pretty easily forthcoming. In the case of this bridge, it's not. So these two consultants are scoping possible repair options. The cable post-tensioning system's reliability and the contribution to the structural capability of this bridge are part of what's being reviewed. We need to consider, again, looking back 22 years ago in 2003, the reasons that cable post-tensioning system was installed and how that supports increased loading of the bridge. Because ultimately what occurred back in 2003 was we had a bridge prior to that was posted at 6 tons. And after the work was done, it was posted at 20 tons and has been posted at 20 tons since that time. So again, we have to look at this cable post-tensioning system failed. We don't know why the cable post-tensioning system failed. And it's probably going to sound a little bit egotistical, but I'll say it anyway. For an engineer, when you're not sure why something broke, it makes you a little bit nervous. You want to fully understand why it may have broken and if other components that are similar in nature may also break. So as much as the public understandably is demanding swift action on this bridge, we have to be thoughtful. Because the reason we closed this bridge was to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the motoring public. And when we approach it now in hopes of doing some type of a repair or doing some work on this bridge, we have to be equally thoughtful. Because heaven forbid, we rush into a decision and we do some repair and then there's another failure. So that's kind of a summary of where we're at. We're continuing to work with these two bridge engineering consultants, again, one of whom is national, who has experience in this specific type of bridge. I have a meeting with that engineering team tomorrow again, another update meeting to see where they're at on their end of things. The one other thing I'll mention is, speaking of these engineering consultants, we've asked them to prioritize this bridge. We've said to us here in Washtenaw County, and in particular to these residents that are north of the bridge, this is the top priority for us. For these engineering consultants, they have a full workload. They are working this into their other responsibilities to other clients. And in the case of Majeski and Masters, again, they're a national company. It is a big ask to say, drop everything that you're doing and work on this bridge. They're doing their best to do so, but I think we have to be a little bit reasonable with them. Again, I've had one meeting with this engineering design team last week. We're having another meeting this week. This is a top priority for us, but we want to be very thoughtful in our approach to trying to get this bridge reopened.
If I may,
Yes.
tell me give me an example of a 20-ton vehicle. Is that a
Oh.
fully loaded garbage truck? Is that a
Yeah.
fire truck that has to haul its own water to a
Yeah.
remote section of the county?
yeah.
What is it?
So it wouldn't include a fire engine tanker, so a tanker truck is gonna exceed 20 tons. Vehicles that could use a bridge at 20 tons, a school bus,
Okay,
Ambulance.
an ambulance could use it. I would say probably a garbage truck could go across it.
No,
No, thank you, thank you.
No trash.
No trash,
No agricultural.
right. Lawn mowing services,
oh, I'm sorry.
lawn mowing services, landscape services could use it. If they're pulling a couple of zero turns on a trailer behind a pickup, they could go across. But again, it's fairly limited.
What about UPS, FedEx?
Yeah, like their typical delivery trucks. Yeah, I think that probably like Amazon, UPS, FedEx, I would doubt that they would exceed 20 tons. If we're talking about just one of their local delivery vehicles.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, that's always been a mystery to me. Oh, so what's a 20-ton vehicle? I
one of
don't
Yeah.
the,
have a
one of
clue.
the
Is
things that
that,
people don't think about is some of these, super class A motorhomes. They're getting up there and you don't even need a CDL to drive them. So a lot of people driving them don't even think about it. And granted, you're probably not at 20-ton. But if you lower that to 10-ton, you're probably coming close on some of them,
it's
especially when
really
they're
not
pulling
wide
tra-
enough for one of those.
It is, but
Is it?
if they're pulling a trailer, then yeah, I mean, cause you figure
Wow.
that, most RVs aren't any wider than a box truck. So if a box truck.
They
fits
just
those
look like it,
staircase-
huh?
Yes, because a lot of times people driving them aren't trained. So that's part of the problem with it.
Well, and I don't remember the vertical dimension on the bridge, but we have to remember this is a through truss.
Oh, right.
So you've got to,
Right.
like, whoever would try to cross the bridge, they got to keep in mind that there's an overhead restriction as well. So,
We've had a few bridge strikes lately, have we not?
in
Not
the
on-
area, not us, but in the area, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Gosh. Commissioner Green,
So for people who use the bridge on a daily basis or on a regular basis, what are their detour routes and how much additional time are they incurring?
Sure. So the detour route that's posted that has the signs along it would be Huron River Drive. So if you're on, let's say you're on the south side of the bridge, you're on Huron River Drive and you want to get to the north side of the bridge over to like Barton Hills. You have to go Huron River Drive west to North Delhi Road north, up to Joy Road east, down to Maple Road and come back to the south. So that's the signed detour that's in place. Understandably, and as in most cases, when we close a road, motorists find their own alternate routes. And so in this case, Tubbs Road is a shorter route, but Tubbs Road is curvy, it's hilly, it's narrow, it's a natural beauty road.
it's not
Residents
paved, right?
It's not paved, it's unpaved. Residents along Tubbs Road, have voiced concern about the increase in traffic. Again, it's understandable. I understand why they're frustrated with that, but that is a public road. As long as traffic is using it and complying with traffic laws, they can use a public road. So we're seeing an increase in traffic on Tubbs Road, on Stein Road, and I think you've got a fair amount of traffic using Stein, even to the east of Maple Road and just going out to Whitmore Lake Road.
Yeah.
They're finding their way out that way. So
Yeah.
that's the posted detour. Commissioner Green, to drive the entire detour, if you were on the south end of the bridge and drive all the way around to the north end, I would guess, again, just me driving it, 10 minutes, maybe, something like that. So, yeah. But again, I think the hardest pill here is the residents that are off of Daleview, the residents that are in Barton Hills are used to driving on a paved road to get to the other side of the river. They don't have to go to the north. In the past, before we closed the bridge, they could just shoot across the Foster Bridge. Again, there is a portion of Country Club Road going north of the bridge that's unpaved. But then once you get to Barton Village, then it goes back to pavement. So, yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Can we be reassured that dust control will be monitored closely on some of these? Yeah,
Yes. The
Absolutely.
Director of Operations, Mr. Lape, says thumbs up. Yes.
Very
Don't
good.
be in his
they'll pick up the
cruise.
phone and call us, right? But just reassuring them that we know it's gonna be dusty.
Chair.
Commissioner Smers.
I think one of the things that the public needs to understand, and I think you'll agree with me, is we don't know what broke the bridge.
Right.
What else is on the verge of failing? If somebody too heavy went over it, if something happened, or is there just something wrong with the cable? If it's that one cable, easy fix. If it's all of the cables, not an easy fix.
Yep.
And could be catastrophic to that bridge.
Yeah, some of the things that we're looking at is, could we repair the existing post tensioning? Do we need to replace it? If we do replace it, what's the load bearing without a post tensioning system on it? So these are all questions that we're trying to get answers on, and evaluating it. And, like it's been said, it's not an easy task. Getting a load bearing, on a structure like this, with not a lot of people having experience in doing load ratings on historic truss bridges, it's time consuming, because obviously the consultant is a national consultant doing this work full time.
Yes.
So finding availability is hard too.
Very niche.
Yep, it is.
I just did a quick search. The Model T was introduced in 1908. Okay, so this bridge was constructed before the Model T was even introduced.
Good point of reference.
I didn't Google who was president and all that jazz, but I mean, that was a fascinating point that you made about wooden water mains. Brent, I mean,
Yeah.
give us a point of reference of just how doggone old this bridge is.
Well, and I think to your point, Chair Fuller, to use a Model T as your daily driver, how much work would you have to do on that Model T? And that's essentially what this bridge, what's being asked of this old bridge.
How much did it weigh? I mean, it was.
Right. Yeah,
Not much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horse and buggy.
Yeah.
We're using this bridge.
Right.
Yeah.
so again, and it's impressive structure because it's lasted as long as it has. But
But
again, when we deal with something this old, you have to be very thoughtful about, all right, why did it break? Do we only need to fix where it broke, or do we need to look at this in a bigger picture and possibly do some other repairs to ensure the safety of the motoring public?
agreed.
Okay.
Any other
Okay.
questions for these gentlemen?
No, I just want to update
Thank you.
further. Thank you. Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering, update on the active projects. So
There's something else? I-
there's more. That's why I said this is long.
Gun plan.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
Yeah. So, active projects, we have Bemis Road, that roadway's closed. Contractors, gonna, really start to activate that roadway next week. We found some poor soils out there, and we developed a plan to mitigate those poor soils with the contractor and a geotechnical engineer. So we're moving forward, and that we'll see a lot more activity next week
Where on Bemis, Brent?
between Stony Creek and Hitchingham. That's where we are paving that gravel portion of Bemis. Our preventative maintenance projects, so Liberty Road, between Zeeb and Wagner, because we've broken that up into a couple different phases. So between Zeeb and Wagner, and then we'll come back later in the summer and we'll do from Wagner to Scioto Ridge. That one, the mainline paving was complete. The contractor has completed the approaches, and they're out there doing some shoulders. So that one is substantially complete.
So Liberty, Wagner to Scioto Ridge is later this year still?
Wagner, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that one, the
Liberty.
condition of that pavement east of Wagner was in very poor condition. And so we've kind of changed our scope, and we're gonna be looking to crush and shape and do some,
Okay.
or looking to maybe mill out and replace that asphalt. So we kind of broke that up into different phases.
Okay.
Maple Road, so Maple Road is next. We're based on the schedule, we're looking to start milling and hopefully paving, planned for next week. That's again, weather dependent. And then, also upcoming will be our
What
Ellsworth.
part of Maple Road is that?
Oh, Maple Road, oh gosh, between M14 and, what would be Stein Road? Yep. Thank you, Tiffany. Is it Craig or Stein? Hidden River Drive. So there's a gap, right? Yeah, so between M14 and Craig, then there's a gap. It looks like between Newport and Hidden River Drive.
Just
to
for
the north of
clarification,
there.
south of the freeway is the city of Ann Arbor.
Correct.
So we're only doing north of the
Only
freeway.
doing north of the freeway.
Okay.
Ellsworth Road between Platt and Carpenter Road. That one is where we are doing the experimental rubberized asphalt. So that contract's been awarded. We've had the pre-construction meeting, and we're hoping to start on that project in the next couple weeks. And we're anticipating that project only taking approximately 2 weeks to complete.
How many weeks?
2 weeks
2
to
weeks.
complete, yeah. Again, that's all weather dependent.
Okay.
As far as the non-motorized, our Getty's Pathway between Andover and Wexford Road in Superior Township. That contractor is out working now, and it's on schedule. And that's anticipated for an August completion. Our traffic calming that was on Foster Ave within Pittsfield Township, that is complete. As far as the speed humps are installed, and signs are remaining to be installed for that project. Our congestion mitigation air quality projects. So we have two. We have a 2024 project along Ann Arbor, Saline, and within the city of Saline. We're currently working on 2 locations within the city of Saline. That's at Maple and Woodland, and Maple and Tybolt. One's getting a new signal installed, and one is modernizing that signal at Woodland. So that was in cooperation with the city of Milan. And then from there, they'll be moving into our 2025 CMAC project, which we have 30 signals within Ann Arbor, Pittsfield, Superior, and Ypsilanti. So,
Are those just upgrades? Those aren't new.
yeah, they're just upgrades, modernizations for those signals. That would be detection, some cabinets, controllers, things like that. Also, part of our local paving agreements with townships for subdivisions. Concrete work is still ongoing within the Green Farms subdivision within Ypsilanti Township. Our pavement marking program, our retrace for the long line, is mostly complete. We will be quickly moving into our chip seal roads that have been fog sealed. We understand that with that fog, it's gotten a lot darker, particularly at night. And so we'll be quickly laying those out and getting those on the schedule to be repainted. Then we have a couple permit projects, Park and Stabler. The roadway is open and the contractor, and it's been paved, and the contractor is working on restoration for that project. As far as Morgan Road, that's part of the Amazon. That's between Carpenter and US 12. That's part of the Amazon development. The paving is complete for Morgan Road, and we're hoping to open that up this week. And then the contractor is working at the intersection of Morgan and Carpenter for that. There's a southbound right turn lane. And then there's some traffic signal work. So there's other work that they are also performing in coordination with the Morgan Road paving. So other than that, our staff is working on 26 and even into 27 projects. So aside from that, that's my report. If there's any questions.
How many projects this year, Brent? I remember over 300 at one point in the past.
I
Just
don't have the
curious.
exact number. I mean,
remember
we
the
have,
Sheets that Harmon used to put together and counted them all up, and it was well over 300.
yeah, we have quite a few projects and, you know, looking in the future, 26 is actually gonna be a bigger year than this year. Which is great news. And, that means that, we're gonna be performing a lot of work and improving a lot of things for our county. So, but yeah,
Wow.
it'll definitely, challenge staff.
And I hope they're all staying hydrated and safe. Go ahead, Jeff.
Just wondering what you're doing with all your spare time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that,
thinking
right?
about road, yeah. Actually, I think I drive my family crazy because as we're just traveling around, I'm looking at different areas that, oh, we should look for a future millage or look for some type of improvement here. And so, yeah, my spare time, I think, involves work as well.
Anything else for Brent?
All right,
Thank
thank you.
Thanks, Brent.
All right, next up is the man that pays for it all, so. Ackerman.
Welcome back, Dan.
Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance. My report contains nothing nearly as exciting as the engineering report, but I will cover a few things with you. We'll start with our favorite topic, Michigan Transportation Funds. We did receive the May funds, and they continue to exceed what the state has shared with us as far as their projections, which is great. So May of 25 was about 2% higher than May of 24. And through the 5 months, we're almost 4% year to date, up from last year.
Yeah, that's page 47 of the board packet. Thank you.
Always the last page.
Yes, right. Last but not least, right?
That's right.
So keep all of this discussion in mind when we talk about budget. And we're looking at modifying our budget for Michigan Transportation Funds. Again, it's contrary to the state estimates. As a matter of fact, probably a few times a week, I go on the state's website to see if they've updated their projections. They have not. There have been years where they've updated them a few times over the course of the year. And there have been many years where they put out their estimates in February and that's it. So, and sometimes, some years it definitely warranted probably modifying their numbers, but I don't know. It's a budget committee with the state. I don't know how difficult it is to get the necessary people together and so on. So, so obviously we use their budget, their projections as estimates, but then we use what's actually happening in the history here and so on. So, but certainly we'll be talking about that in 2 weeks as far as where we think that that's going. So any questions on that at all?
I do, on page 36, Dan, of the packet, your report, you've got county millage, the initial 25 millage reimbursement. Is that the first then?
That's the first one for all the municipalities and it's the first one for us.
Okay, for this new millage.
For the new millage, yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, we are definitely seeing some progress with millage projects. And I want to make sure that when there's enough progress cost-wise to justify sending an invoice, that we do so as opposed to, you know, us bearing those costs for 6 months and then invoicing Washtenaw County. And by the way, their turnaround has been great. We send an email to the county and within a day or two, the money is transferred into our account, which has been great.
Impressive.
And that's what we would expect though, so.
And then on page 37, you've got staff working on PA 166,
Yes,
blah, 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 monitoring for the next 5 years?
yes. Yep, that's in reference to the pension grant that we received.
Mhm.
And that was in the Public Act 166, that there would be a 5-year monitoring period to make sure that municipalities are doing what they're supposed to with the pension funds,
Mm.
that they're seeing, progress towards at least the 60% funded, if not more. And, I think they have a whole committee for that too. So,
How reassuring.
yes, I know. And, in some respects, it was a lot of money that the state of Michigan provided. So you would hope that, municipalities are doing what they're supposed to with it, and, some sort of oversight's probably good. I find the reporting for Public Act 166 is is very similar to Public Act 202 that we've been, submitting for years. And so you would think maybe they could combine the two, or anyway, so, but actually I have a call into the State Department that we're supposed to submit the report to. Just, I have a few questions and
Good.
just to
Okay.
kind of go over a couple of things, so.
That's all.
Okay, you want me to keep going, or?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. So a lot of my time the past week or two has been spent crunching lots of numbers, just trying to get a budget ready for the board. And basically, we have 3 budgets we're working on. Well, the other 2 are more just projections, of course, for 2026 and 2027. And I want to thank Brent and Aaron, Adam, Ken. I barely know what I'm going to do tomorrow, but they've been working on what projects that we are planning in 2026 and 2027. So really appreciate all their efforts. We need to know what sort of work and what sort of, if it's federal grants, what sort of match the road commission will have to contribute towards it. And they've been very timely with all the information, and there's a lot there. And we're getting closer to the finish line. But we just want to make sure we can have a good discussion and see where our numbers are projecting and our fund balance and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, that's been a big chunk of my time, especially, the past few days, just trying to get all that ready so we can get it to you next week prior to the working session that we'll have. So,
Questions at all? I have a question. I'm nervous about the federal dollars, especially pushing out into 26 and 27. I mentioned
Sure.
that to Matt
yes.
repeatedly.
Mhm.
Do we have a provision in any of our contracts that if that federal money never actually materializes due to a congressional act or an executive order, are we on the hook for that chunk of money that isn't going to come?
If the funds are obligated, then the project doesn't happen. We're not using those funds for any of our operations.
Okay.
Or maintenance. It's specifically for projects.
Okay.
So if there's a specific fund that ends up being pulled back, so to speak,
Mhm.
then the project doesn't happen. Good news is we'll still have a shovel-ready project to reallocate funds potentially, or to go after the different funding sources. So we're tracking well. In fact, some of the funds that were somewhat discretionary or in question, the carbon reduction, we've actually getting close to obligating our project for Park and Shield. It is obligated. So there you go. It is obligated. Thank you, Brent. So every opportunity we have to, once got the permit in hand, the right of way in hand, the design is done, we're submitting for those funds to be obligated. And then the agreements come forth, the MDOT agreements come to the board for approval, and we're ready for construction. So moving ahead. But the projects in the projected budgets for 26 and 27, certainly there are a lot of federal funds involved with that. And I don't think our operations are in jeopardy. It'd just be those projects don't happen.
And we don't purchase materials and such in advance that we'd have. Okay.
Yeah, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I see it as kind of what Matt said. Those projects wouldn't happen, and then the road commission's local match, we're not spending it. what do we do with that? Maybe we can do one project for all those projects, we lose federal funding, so, but from a budget perspective, I don't necessarily see, right, I don't necessarily see it having an adverse impact. The real impact is those projects won't happen. So that's kind of my take on that.
You'll let us know if such an occurrence takes place, right? That we had to delay or terminate. a
Yeah, that would
project.
definitely
yeah.
be an amendment to the budget that we would absolutely make known to the board. But as of now, we don't have any federal funding sources that have been pulled back, so to speak.
Okay.
Everything that we have planned to do has been obligated as planned.
And the nice thing about our budget process is Brent already has those projects for 2026 and 2027, and we are looking at them, minimally on a quarterly basis. So when those changes happen, he can go into his spreadsheets and make any updates that he needs to. But, as a staff, we're looking at those spreadsheets all the time, which is good.
Okay.
And we'd be prepared to adjust it if necessary. Reprioritize our project list.
And we're keeping our Congresswoman informed when
When and if there is an issue, absolutely.
to need attention drawn to them.
Right.
Okay. All right. Proceed.
Believe it or not, we're working on the second quarter reports. Half the year it's gone by, which is crazy. Time slow down, right? Finance finished the majority of the 2025 first township agreements, and the operations department will be sending those out to the townships probably within the week, which is awesome. Nice to get those out. And then Acumatica, our new financial software or ERP system, we provided a significant amount of road commission data that they are setting up. They call it a sandbox environment. So basically they take all of our data and put it into the system so that when we have testing and so on, our information will be in there and it'll be a familiarity for all the users. And, it's just been found that the testing is a little more effective that way. So, but that is quite a heavy lift on their part. I'm considered the project manager for the job, so I have weekly meetings with them. And once the sandbox environment is set up, we'll have small projects. Say we'll talk with all the folks that handle inventory or all folks that handle purchase orders. So that'll be coming in the next month or so. And then our leadership team also will have monthly meetings with them just to see where the progress is, if there's any higher level decision making that needs to be made. And that's called the steering committee. So anyway, I've been very impressed with the consultants we've been working with. This is what they do. So I've been learning a lot from them. They've been learning a lot from us. And we're anxious to get going on it, but also we want to take our time and do it right.
So are we the first in the state, first road agency in the state to make this transition?
We are the furthest along.
Furthest along?
Yes,
Okay.
there are several other road commissions that are close to where we are or slightly behind. Certainly, there's a lot of road commissions that are mulling over what path they want to take. But my guess is, when those of us start utilizing it, that there'll be a lot more interest. So
Okay, go ahead.
that's it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
unless there's any other questions.
I do not see any. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Great, thanks.
Last up, we have operations report.
Good afternoon, Adam Blake, Director of Operations. Today, the operations crew resumed fog seal, working on Textile Road and then quickly moved over to Ann Arbor Saline Road. Goal is to complete that part of the project within the next 3 or so weeks, weather dependent, of course. And also last week, we were delayed a little bit with some weather, so we didn't fog seal. So the heavy equipment crew was able to reset and complete the Willis Road culvert that we had talked about during the working session a little bit, and maybe even prior to that. That was just east of Pittman Road. So that was in Augusta Township as well. And then the district crews themselves continue to work on our local road projects throughout the entire county. Keeping pretty busy with that. Specific to billing and kind of financial information, many of those first billings were sent this morning by Tiffany. So really want to thank Tiffany Lovestall, Jamie Kraus, Ken Jarrett have been great in the foreman with helping with updates. We've been making changes left and right as we see an error or we see something we need to change. We've been able to make those suggestions, and Jamie and Tiffany got that done pretty quick and sent the majority of those out today. So appreciate all their work. It really helps Ken Jarrett and I when we need to make a quick change. Those two are really, really good at that for us. And then as you likely noticed when you pulled in today, our facility crew is pretty busy mowing lawns and weed whipping and doing about as best they can to keep back all the weeds and make the lawns look pretty good at all our facilities. In between mowing, which is infrequent that they get free time, but making sure our brine systems are all up and functioning properly, because we move a lot of gallons of liquid throughout the county each day. So those units, the pumps, the lines, all kinds of things, they'll give us fits from time to time. So our group is working some very long hours some days trying to keep that up and moving forward for us. And then the shop team, they're still continuing periodic maintenance, servicing heavy equipment as it fails, repairing things that are needed. And then also that group will start decommissioning this time of year some of the equipment that is set for auction. So that could be pickup trucks and small vehicles like that, all the way up to some of our older dump trucks that we'll auction off and utilize those funds to get some more equipment in the course of the next year or so. And that is my update, unless there are any other questions.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes. I don't know, don't know, Adam, if you would handle this. The, sorry, light structure on Ecorse Road, it's a decorative, those 3 lights that they light up.
Street lighting likely.
It's not, it's a cosmetic thing, it's
Okay,
decorative.
yep, yeah, so that's in theory kind of through engineering, traffic safety, and then inevitably DTE typically, or the township. That would likely maintain those. There's something maybe forward wise?
One of the lights is out.
Would you be able to maybe bump Matter-Eye just? to
Change the
kind-
light bulb, Joanne.
I think that one is related to the US 12 project we did.
Yeah,
So
Oh, okay.
in that
Yeah.
case, the township is responsible for the
Okay.
maintenance. I don't know who's maintaining those lights, but we can certainly inquire.
okay.
So,
E-course and US 12.
yeah, so
For the
no, but
record,
yes, we
thank you.
can forward on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, there was some amenities that were added, landscaping type lighting, and that
Excuse me.
is under permit to MDOT because those are MDOT roads. And then the maintenance responsibility, I believe, is the township.
Okay,
And Tiffany just kind of motioned me, she does have C-Click fix, so she'll pass it on once we.
Okay.
thank
line
you,
up
Tiffany.
The actual source, so.
Thank you,
We'll
Commissioner,
process
for
it.
bringing that up.
I
Thank
swear
you,
that
Chair.
woman has 8 arms.
Help us out.
All right, well, thank you, Adam.
All right, thank you.
That concludes our reports.
That's it. Any other questions or comments at this point? Okay, some reminders. This office is closed July 3 and 4, that's Thursday and Friday, in observance of the holiday. Bring to your attention, you've probably seen it in your emails, on July 8th. MDOT is having an open house again to talk about the I-94 to Gettys on US 23 project. I think this is noise abatement coming up. Is that what this particular conversation is about? But it's July 8th, 2 shifts, noon to 2, 4 to 7 at the Morris Lawrence Building on Washtenaw Community College campus. Chat sessions coming up, July 2nd, tomorrow, I'm the commissioner. July 9th, Commissioner Green. July 16th, Commissioner Yamas. July 23rd, Commissioner McCullum. And July 30th, Commissioner Smers. So check your calendars and make sure if there's a conflict that you tap someone else to trade with or get coverage for. Because you never know who's going to outperform Jeff Smers.
I
Number of
don't-
visitors at chat.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Without any other business to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Tiffany, if you would, please.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs,
Yes.
Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, we are adjourned. Have a safe July 4th weekend, everybody. Be careful out there.